Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This is lecture number 20 and today we will cover the topics Ministry of Education and Education Secretariat. The main theme of this lecture, that is administrative and supervisory structure in Pakistan. In introduction, we will come through some details about the constitutions, like as per constitutions of 1973, educations on the concurrent list. Therefore, federal government is responsible for the formulation of policies and plans in consultation with the education departments of provinces. The provinces have a sole power to implement the national education policies, but under the devolution power programs, the education has become the subject of district government now. Pakistan is a federal state, we all know. So at the center, there is a federal government which comprises of the 7 ministers and divisions. Each ministry or division is headed by a secretary who is in turn as responsible to minister. So ministers make up the cabinet, which is headed by the Prime Minister of Pakistan. Moreover, almost a similar pattern of administrative structure exists at the provincial level, and a large number of ministers at the center have their counterparts in provinces, which are known as departments. So each provincial department is headed by a secretary who is, in case of center, is responsible to a minister. For the purpose of administration, the provinces are divided into a number of administrative districts. A district is headed by district Nazim, and districts are further divided into tehsils. Administration of education in the country is generally organized according to the above administration, headed either at the provincial or district levels. The medium and lower educational administrators are also placed at district and tehsil levels. Okay, next is that the system government is centralized as decision making of higher level concentrates at the federal and provincial levels. And the structure and the role of minister depends upon the sectors, and tasks common to most ministers include preparation of policy statements for the sector, preparation of lateral lines, standards, task targets, etc. Preparation of the national plans and annual development and recurring budgets in cooperation with the Planning Commission and Ministry of Finance. They also have liaison with the districts and relations with appropriate parastatal or quasi-government bodies, matters of purely sectoral nature but of national importance. Now the next one, Ministry of Education. Ministry of Education is basically the head of central organizations for formulating national education policies and the work for the coordination of the functions of the provincial educational departments. The Ministry of Education is actually headed by the Federal Minister for Education, who is the member of the cabinet, and he represents Ministry of the Parliament or similar bodies at the federal level, submits cases to the Prime Minister for approval of important matters, and keep him informed of the developments in national education. His office is in the Educational Secretariat. The Education Secretariat consists of the Office of Education Secretary and a number of sections, usually known as wings or cells. Education Secretariat. The Federal Education Secretary of the Chief Executive of the Educational Secretariat. He is also responsible for the administration of Education Secretariat and for implementation of government decisions and policies relating to education. In the performance of his duties, the Education Secretary is assisted by the number of joint secretaries, joint education advisors. Each one of them is head of the certain wing of the Ministry of Education. Moreover, depending upon the needs of Secretariat and the government policies about education, at present the Education Secretariat comprises of the following wings: administrative wing, planning and development wing, Primary and Non-Formal Education Wing, Federal Institutions Wing, Learned Body Sports and Welfare Wing, Curriculum Wing, Science and Technical Education Wing, International Cooperation Wing. And then it also comprises Higher Education and Research Wing. First of all, we see that what is the role of Administrative Wing. The Administration Wing that is responsible for general administration of the Education Secretariat, and its function includes recruitment and management of personnel, rules and regulations of the Secretariat, maintenance of personal accounts and other records. The wing is also responsible for major areas, problems and requirements of the other sections and matters relating to educational staff in Pakistan's mission abroad. Then Planning and Development Wing is there, and its responsibility is that this Planning and Development Wing is concerned with the matters relating to the planning of education at all levels. Its major functions are the areas of project identification and appraisals, preparation of perspectives and 5-year plan, annual development program, processing of educational schemes and analysis of educational data, implementations, monitoring and evaluation of development plans and projects. The autonomous body looked after by this wing is the Academy of Education Planning and Management, Islamabad. The third wing is Primary and Non-Formal Education Wing. Primary and Non-Formal Education Wing is responsible for evaluation of national education projects and keep liaisons with research institutions in the country. This is also responsible for implementation and monitoring of education projects such as Third Education Project and Pakistan Primary Education Project. Chief Executive Literacy Commission, which is authorized to this wing, is working to increase literacy rate and provide facilities for basic education of adult literates. Now this is Education Secretariat that first of all overall the Ministry of Education look after, then this is under Government of Pakistan, then Minister of Education deals or supervise overall, then Education Secretaries are there, and then there are some wings, and this is actually the system which is going on. Federal Institutions Wing. Its responsibility relates to the federal government education institutions located within the country and abroad, except those located in cantonment and army garrisons. The wing also concerns itself with the administrative matters of attached departments, that is Federal Directorate of Education, Islamabad, and Department of Libraries, Subordinate Office, Federal College of Education, Islamabad, and autonomous bodies like Federal Board of Intermediate and Secondary Education, Islamabad, Sindh Madrasatul Islam, Karachi, and Interboard Committee of Chairman, Islamabad. The next one is Learned Body Sports and Welfare Wing. The Learned Body Sport and Welfare Wing has responsibilities in the area of scouting and Girls Guide sectors and sports sectors. The specific functions of this wing include Scout and Girl Guide programs, students and teachers' welfare, awards such as special medals, scholarships, development and supervision of sport programs, and activities at federal and at provincial levels. This wing also deals with autonomous bodies like Iqbal Academy, National Book Foundations, Urdu Science Board Lahore, and Pakistan Academy of Letters, Islamabad. The next wing is Curriculum Wing. This wing is also a national agency responsible for matters relating to the national curriculum policy, that is we call curriculum planning and implementations from class 1 to 12 and teacher trainings. This is also responsible, or you can say have concern with the development of textbooks in the country and coordinates in the in-service teacher education and training programs. The next one is Science and Technical Education Wing. The Science and Technical Education Wing's functions includes development, construction and maintenance of federal government institutions, education institutions, and that is concerned with the teaching of science and technology like National Institute of Science and Technical Education, who is responsible for the promotion of science education and training, planning and monitoring science and technology program from grade 1 to PhD level, preparation of programs and guidelines for improvement of science and technical education, coordinators of the work of Provincial Education Department in the area of technical and vocational education and technical teacher training. Institutions and bodies under Science and Technical Education Wing include National Teachers Training Institute, Islamabad, Polyphonic Institute for Women, Islamabad, National Museum of Science and Technology, Lahore, and National Educational Equipment Center, Lahore. Then the next wing is International Cooperation Wing. The International Cooperation Wing that deals with the matters relating to the admission of foreign students in Pakistan and Pakistani students studying abroad, scholarship exchange program, training of Pakistanis abroad, liaising with international educational and cultural organization, foreign assistance consultancy and fellowship, cooperation and implementations of UNESCO program concerning to Pakistan and Pakistan National Commission for UNESCO work in close liaisons with ASI wing. The next wing, that is Higher Education and Research Wing, that deals with the matter concerning university grants commissions and universities in the country and research and institutions of higher learning. Other institutions under the umbrella of higher education include Center of Excellence in various fields, Pakistan Study Centers at various universities, and area study centers at universities. And each wing or cell is headed by Joint Educational Advisor, who is responsible to the Secretary Education. A number of deputy secretaries, each of whom is responsible for certain specific jobs within a cell, assist the Joint Educational Advisor in the performance of his functions, whereas deputy education advisors are assisted by Assistant Educational Advisors and other subordinate staffs. Number of deputy education advisors attached with joint educational advisors vary from wing to wing, depending upon the responsibilities of each attached with each deputy educational advisors. It was all about this lecture. Whatever we have covered, I have explained it at the earlier. Thanks for watching. If you still didn't subscribe my channel, please subscribe it for more videos. Thank you. Take care. Allah Hafiz.